so glad that I'm here because I'm super excited about today's topic, you guys. This is such an important topic. And I'm glad that I see all of you guys here live, pumped, ready to go, on time, wanting to tackle YouTube. So I'm loving this, you guys. So thank you so much for your patience here. I'm just going to get right into it. I love you guys. I have to say, I'm going to pull up right now. What I'm doing is I'm pulling up my notes because I have a lot of stuff that I want to share with you. And I have my notes here on my handy dandy Evernote so I don't forget a thing. But I want to first thank TubeBuddy for just cultivating and creating this incredible community for YouTube creators where we can all get together and we can talk about best practices. We can talk about what's working, what's not working. So thank you, TubeBuddy, for first off creating such an incredible software and app that helps everybody, and also creating this community and allowing someone like myself to come here and share my experiences working behind the scenes on YouTube with hundreds of people and sharing that experience with you guys. So first off, a little bit about me. My name is Erika Vieira. I'm going to go real quick on this. I'm Erika Vieira. If you don't know who I am the host and creator of the YouTube Power Hour podcast. It is a podcast. We have nearly 200 episodes. I've interviewed very well-known, influential YouTube creators, mainly women, who pull back the curtain and reveal how they have been able to achieve success. I have people who have a couple 100,000 subscribers on the show to millions and millions. I've had Amber Scholl, Karina Garcia, the Slime Queen, Nikki Philippi, Lindsay Hughes, Ashley. I have like over 200 people that are on the podcast. I can't even remember their names. Emily Noel. So if you're interested in podcasts and that sounds of interest, then I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher. You can check it out, YouTube Power Hour Podcast. I'm sure Andrew will put the link in the description. I'm also the creator of the Zero to Influence YouTube Bootcamp, which I run 2 times a year. It is a bootcamp geared more towards women, but men are invited as well. And I've helped hundreds of women start and grow their YouTube channels through the bootcamp. And I also have a consulting side of my business where I work one-on-one with business owners and creative entrepreneurs and work with them behind the scenes. I have access to their analytics, do all the management on their channels on that end. So what I bring to you today and what I bring in all of my live streams here with TubeBuddy is my experience working with hundreds of YouTube creators. So I work with people of all different backgrounds, all different ages, all different niches, all different locations, parts of the world. And I'm bringing that experience to you. What's working for them, what's not working for them, and sharing all of that so that you can rock it on YouTube. So what I'm going to talk about today is something that I like to call the dark side of YouTube. And it's something that definitely comes with the territory of having a channel and being a creative or creative entrepreneur on YouTube. And it's a lot of different mindset related things. So you guys all know, you guys here all have YouTube channels. You know, oh, hi, Shelly. I want to say hi to a bunch of people here. Hello, Danny. Hello, Star. Hello, Daniel. Lots of great people here. So thank you so much for being here. But there's a lot to YouTube that isn't always brought to the forefront, especially when it comes to the creators and the mindset and the toll that it can take on an individual who decides to tackle this crazy world of YouTube. And I hear these things time and time again from my students and from my clients. And what I want to bring to you today are just a few different tips and strategies that have helped the people that I've worked with tackle some of these things and handle some of these things. And also, most importantly, bring to light some of these kind of negative mindset things or some of these things that we all tackle with, and to start talking about it and create a conversation about it. And, you know, the replay here, then definitely comment below if there's anything that I say that kind of triggers you, or you say, gosh, I've gone through that before, or I've experienced that before, or also here on the live for those of you who are here live. And we can kind of start this discussion because these are some things that are really important to start thinking about and talking about, because if you allow those negative thoughts to seep into your consciousness, it can really have a detrimental effect on your channel. And so your mindset is so key when it comes to longevity on this platform. Yes, things like SEO, things like your titles, your thumbnails, and all the amazing things that everybody here on the TubeBuddy YouTube channel talks about is incredibly important. But one aspect that can really derail your success is having a mindset that works against you. So today I want to go over some of those things, and hopefully, even if you take away one or two things from this, what I talk about today, hopefully will help you in the long run with your mindset and just keeping positive about YouTube. So first off, lots of comments, hard to keep up with, but I will do my best. First off, these are some of the things that I see come up time and time again with my clients. And if any of these things come up for you, then leave it in the comments, leave it in the chat. But the first thing, and this is the thing that I see happens so often, I think every single one of us is guilty of this. And I call it comparisonitis, right? Where you are comparing yourself against other people and you're looking at them and you're being like, why don't I get that many views on my video? I did a similar video. Or why don't I have that many subscribers? Or I told that girl to get started on YouTube and now she has more subscribers than me. Like, why don't I have that? Or why did this person who started after me, now she has way more views than me? I mean, I'm sure we're all guilty of that. I don't know if that's something that you've ever thought of, but I know with my clients and the people I work with, it comes up time and time again. And the thing is, though, with YouTube, to an extent, it encourages this idea of comparison, because when you're watching a video, you know exactly how many views and how many people are liking and commenting on the video. It's not like when you're in the movie theater, you're kind of separated from that. Yeah, you can always look it up online, like how well is this movie doing? You can look up Rotten Tomatoes. But in the moment when you're watching it, you're not really thinking about that, right? But with YouTube, those metrics are right in front of you. And even for just the casual YouTube viewer, not even for the creator, those metrics are right there. So it kind of lends itself to this air of comparison and competition in a way, but and I'm going to talk about kind of how to combat that. Another issue that I see a lot is burnout. So burnout, comment below, let me know if you've ever experienced burnout. The thing is with burnout is that YouTube, by its nature, really, there's this encouragement to be consistent, to upload once a week, twice a week, because you're serving your audience and that's your job essentially as a YouTube creator. But what happens is that down the line, it can eventually lead to burnout if you don't put yourself first before your channel. If you're uploading despite the fact that you're feeling like crap, or you mentally don't feel up to it, or physically don't feel up to it, and you're not listening to yourself, you're not listening to your body, and you're continuing to upload. So burnout is definitely an issue. And then there's this idea of FOMO, where you don't want to miss out on those views. You don't want to miss out on those subscribers. You don't want to miss out. So you're constantly uploading. And that's always in the back of your mind. Another issue that comes up a lot is guilty, like feeling guilty about your channel, not doing enough. Like if you do want to take a break, feeling guilty about that. So guilt comes up a lot with creators. Another thing, of course, is trolls. I mean, everyone deals with trolls. It's the nature of it's just the nature of YouTube. And there's a level of YouTube that is, there's an anonymity, that's a hard word to say, anonymity to YouTube, right? People are watching and they can leave comments and they're not face to face with you, having to face you and tell you your video sucks or you suck or blah, blah, blah. So there's this anonymity, which leads itself to some pretty nasty trolls that are out there. And then another issue that I see a lot is negative validation, where you already have these insecurities about yourself. Like you might already have things that you're maybe worried about, and you're like, oh, you're already a little insecure about. And then when you get those comments that actually validates that, it can really lead to just kind of some negative downward spiraling. And then the last thing is the imposter syndrome, where people feel like, well, I don't even know if I'm really qualified to be doing this. Like, and this happens with success. A lot of times some of my clients that have, 500,000 subscribers and they turn around and they're like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, why am I even here? Like, why are even people watching me? Like, there's just imposter syndrome that they feel like they're, someone's going to find them out. And that happens a lot. So those are some of the things that I see happen quite a bit that people are dealing with. Comparisonitis, burnout, feeling guilty, trolls, negative validation, and imposter syndrome. Now, the next 9 kind of things that I want you to think about will help you with some of those issues, and even some that I haven't even talked about. If there's any other kind of mindset things or things related to your well-being from a mental standpoint that I haven't touched upon, definitely leave it in the comments below. But those are the ones that I personally see happen time and time again. I'm going to drink some water because I'm talking really fast and my throat's really dry. Okay. Lindsay says, oh my goodness, this basically sums up the first year of being a YouTube creator. Here's the thing, Lindsay, this doesn't just happen in your first year, your first month. These things happen at all ends of the spectrum. I'm talking about, like I said, I have clients that have 600, 700,000 subscribers, and these things are very prevalent there. And if you don't put it in check, like at the beginning, it can get really, really bad down the line. So, okay, first off, the first thing that I really, really want you to think about when it comes to your mindset on YouTube and sharpening that mindset and really making it as positive as possible, the first thing that you really want to remember and really keep in mind is your why. And it seems so basic, right? But the why is so, so important when it comes to the health of you as a creator and also your YouTube channel. And I talk about your why in my bootcamp, which I forgot to mention. I'm actually opening up enrollment to my bootcamp next month. Shameless plug. And I only open up enrollment twice a year. So if you're interested, yes, it's geared more towards women, but I love having men in there as well. But if you're interested, go to erikaviera.net/bootcamp and you can add your name to the waitlist. Okay, done with that. But first off, your why. Your why is something that I spent an entire week on in my bootcamp, really helping you hone in why you're doing YouTube. And I've talked about it in my other live streams here on TubeBuddy. I talk about it on my podcast. So I'm not going to go into like super depth here because I've said it a lot of times before, but you have to have an articulation of your why. It's not enough just to say, well, I really love makeup, so I want to do YouTube. Or it's going to drive business for my channel, it's going to drive traffic to my business. Or I just want to. I just like it just seems like fun. Those are fine, but those are very superficial whys. Ultimately, if YouTube is going to be like your full-time job, if it's going to be your your life's purpose, then you have to articulate your why. Like at some point, if you're going to be a full-time YouTuber, whether it's you're going to be an influencer or whatever it is, this ultimately becomes your life's purpose. And if that's truly the case, then you need to know what that why is. It goes much, much deeper than liking makeup or liking, gaming or whatever it is, right? Whatever your niche is or whatever your business is, it's got to go deeper than that. If ultimately you are going to see the level of success on YouTube that you really, really want. And so you have to remember it. And you have to first off know what it is. Most people don't even know what it is. They hop onto YouTube, they try a few videos out. Some people get lucky, they get some success, they have a couple viral videos, and they're like, oh, wow, great. But they haven't actually really thought about or articulated why they're doing what they're doing. And it takes some time and you've got to figure it out. But I really implore you just to spend some time journaling, figuring it out and articulating it. And what a lot of my clients, I have them do, my students, I have them do in the bootcamp, is actually have them write out what their why is and post it like everywhere they can see it. Use it as a mantra from right before you start filming. Put it right in your filming room. Put it on your phone, anywhere where you can see it so you're constantly reminded of it, because ultimately you have to make your why bigger than your fears and insecurities. What I tell my students all the time, I say, get over yourself, because if your why is truly as deep as you say it is, like you want to help people, you want to do this, you want to make an impact, you want to change, then that has to be bigger than you and your fears and your insecurities. And you've got to get over yourself. You got to get over worried about yourself, worrying about the way you look, worrying about everything else, because ultimately that serves as a distraction from you serving your higher purpose. Okay, so number one is really, when you start spiraling down in those negative thoughts, reconnect with why and why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. Second thing I want you to think about, if these negative thoughts start creeping up or this mindset starts, you see it veering in a negative direction, is have you fostered a community? So it's not just about growing your subscriber base. Yes, you want to grow your subscriber base because, the more people that view your videos, the more impact that you make. But have you really fostered a community? And are you encouraging this discussion amongst the people that watch your videos? Are you being very deliberate with the people that you're serving? What I find happens is that people say, well, I'm gonna start a channel, or I'm gonna do videos about A, B, and C because this is what I'm interested in. And, you know, if you build it, they will come, right? Or like, well, whoever resonates with me, then they'll subscribe. But the more strategic and better way to start thinking about your audience is being deliberate with who you're creating content for and creating content specific to that particular person. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. And there's a quote by Kurt Vonnegut. He's an author, and he said, he's a writer, but I think this really applies to YouTube. And he says, write to just one person. If you open up a window and you make love to the world, so to speak, your story is going to get pneumonia. Meaning that if you try and serve everybody, then you're not going to serve anybody. And the true way to really cultivate a community is to be super deliberate with exactly who you're serving and to create content for them, because that's how you'll be able to attract those people. And by doing so, the reason why a community is so important, there's many, many reasons why having a community is important, but related to this specific topic of mindset is because they will serve as like your little army in a way. They'll be a buffer zone against the rest of the world. These people who you have been serving and creating content specifically for will know, like, and trust you. They will love you. They will be obsessed with you and your content, and they will be there to serve as a buffer when anything else happens, right? When you get those negative trolls, when you get people coming in saying nasty things, you'll have a group of people in there being like, no way, and blah, blah, blah. They will be your little army. And it's because they're paying you back for what you've done for them. You've impacted them. You've changed your lives. And the least that they can do is support you, right? And that's the thing too. You know, whenever you have videos come out, you know, you at least have your tribe of people that are your diehards are gonna watch you come hell or high water. And, you know, they're gonna be there defending you against trolls. So it's so important to have that community and to really, really foster it. Okay, so the third thing that I want you to start thinking about as it relates to your mindset, your YouTube mindset is, and this is something that it's just a thought that I want to put in your mind, right? It's something you might hear me, and then maybe like a week from now, or even a month from now, or tomorrow when you're in the shower, you'll start thinking about it. And this is something that I see really affects larger YouTube influencers and also younger people that get onto YouTube and see success. But it can happen at all points of the journey on YouTube. And you want to ask yourself this question: is your self-worth tied to the success of your YouTube channel, or is it tied to your YouTube channel? And if it is, maybe not intentionally, but maybe it is, then you are leaving yourself at a very vulnerable state, because it's not about you anymore. It's about your channel. And then if your channel ends up having a bad video, or you're getting trolls, or it's just not happening the way you want, and you're tying your self-worth to that, then that can get a downward spiral very quickly. And that can ultimately be the end to your channel, because you're not able to pick yourself up, move beyond that, and charge through and consider focusing on your purpose and focusing on your why. And like I said, getting over yourself so that you serve the bigger purpose of what you're really doing on YouTube. If you get caught up in linking your self-worth to your channel, then ultimately you can't sustain that, because there will be ups and there will be downs. With YouTube, there are a lot of ups and downs. And if every time there's a down, you get depressed as a result and you can't come back from that, then there's no way you'll be able to get those highs again. So think about this question at some point, and think about this question now or at some point, and really reflect on it. Are parts of your self-worth tied to your channel, right? And if that's the case, then what I say, it's like being as brutally honest as possible, is like, get a life, right? Get outside of your channel, disconnect, unplug, reconnect with family and friends, and cultivate those relationships again with people that are in your real life, and realize that it's not just about your YouTube channel, that you are so much beyond your YouTube channel. Your YouTube channel serves an extension of you. It's an extension of you, and it's a way for you to fulfill your life's purpose, but it's not everything. It's not your self-worth. Okay. So let me see if there's any other comments or anything. Okay, I think you guys are talking amongst yourselves. So, alrighty, next thing that I want you to think about is, hold on. The Crazy Pop says, when your channel goes down, use it as motivation to try harder. Yes, but what happens though, a lot of times, if things go south with your channel and your self-worth is tied with that, a lot of people, you can't recover from that. And there's things that happen on YouTube. There's this whole cancel culture that's happening on YouTube, right? It's kind of it's a little bit of a different topic, but it's somewhat related. And if you don't have that self-worth in place and something happens, like you're canceled or whatever, or just for some reason, just your videos aren't doing well, you won't be able to recover. So you cannot tie your self-worth with your channel. Okay, so the next thing is what I talked about earlier, but is this comparisonitis, right? I think that comparison and playing the comparison game is probably the most prevalent negative thinking that happens amongst YouTube creators. And like I said earlier, YouTube kind of lends itself to that. There's so many analytics and things that you can pay attention to, and you see other people's analytics. I mean, not the back end, but you see their views and their subscribers and all that thing. It's like there's so many numbers being thrown at you that you can literally go crazy. And so it is hard not to compare yourself, and it happens at every stage. The person at 1,000 subscribers is looking at the person at 10,000 subscribers and wanting to get there. And that person at 10,000 subscribers is looking at the one at 50,000, who's looking at the person with 100,000, who's looking at the person with 1 million, who's looking at the person with 10 million. I mean, it goes on and on. It never ends, right? You think you've made it at 100,000. Those people, I know they have major struggles, and they're like, why can't I get to 500,000, right? I've been stuck at 100,000 for 6 months or whatever it is. And so it happens in all stages. And you have to ask yourself, does their success have anything to do with your success? Does it change your success in any way, right? And instead of looking at it as like a negative, you have to look at it as inspirational, as well. If they can do it, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do it. And the reality is that their success really has nothing to do with you at all. You're making it about yourself, and it has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. There's enough space in this world still, even as competitive as YouTube is, there's enough space that everyone can have a piece of the pie. Even if it's a smaller piece, you might not be a PewDiePie, you might not be a Jeffree Star, but you'll still have that piece of the pie as long as you stay true to who yourself and you understand your strengths. And I'm going to move on to that. So let me make sure I'm not missing a point on this. And so one thing that happens is that you're so focused on where you want to be, and you're so paying attention to where you want to be, and then you forget about what you've done to lead you to this point. So if you have started a channel and maybe you're at 1,000 subscribers, you want to pat yourself on the back for that. There's people, I know it because they even sign up for my programs, and they talk about starting a YouTube channel for years. They don't even do it. So, and they're looking at people that have 100 subscribers as, gosh, I wish I could just do that, right? So pat yourself on the back, give yourself some grace, and feel really good about what you've done so far. I mean, honestly, I'm preaching to the choir because you guys are here hanging out with me on this live stream wanting to better yourselves, right? And let's see, like, a thumbs up for that, for sure, for all you guys, for taking the time to be here, because that takes a lot, and it shows that you're taking that initiative. And so feel good about that, right? Give yourself some grace. Feel good about where you're at, and know that as long as you stay true and unique, true to who you are at, and focus on your strengths and your unique strengths, you will find that community and you'll get to where you want to go at some point. And so the next point that I want to talk about is kind of what I mentioned is, what are your strengths? What are your strengths, right? A lot of people will end up, and because I work with a lot of women, right? I work with primarily women. And, a lot of women think that they have to go onto YouTube and do beauty, right? And it's like, no, is that your strength? Like, do we need another person talking about a mascara? No. But you might have a special strength that is unique in that realm. I have people that, I have a client right now that she is a makeup artist and a makeup counter, and she's worked there for years, and she has this like insider knowledge of a specific brand. And so that's what she brings that's unique to the table, right? Or I have somebody else that has a budget to be able to go out and buy all the newest products all the time, and she has a way to get the products earlier than other people. Well, that's her unfair advantage, right? That's a strength. Everybody has different strengths. You just have to be self-aware enough to know what those strengths are, and know if the channel that you're doing, is it going up against your strengths? Are you kind of competing? I don't want to say competing, but are the other people that are doing similar channels to yours maybe more naturally inclined to that niche? Maybe they have more experience or different experiences. So there is a lot to be said about leaning into your strengths. And there is a quote from Gary Vaynerchuk, and he says, I have it right here. Try to get to a place where you understand yourself and what your strengths are and go all in on them. And I'm a huge believer on really knowing your strengths and being self-aware enough to know that, do you know what? I suck at that. Either I'm going to outsource it, I'm going to hire it out if I have the funds, or I'm going to pivot and do something different because I'm not that good at it. And the more you align with your strengths, just the more that the best of you will come forward and will naturally then create a tribe and attract people and attract that positivity. So think about your strengths. Okay. Next thing is, I'm going to get another sip of water. Adjusted Apothecary says, my strength is babbling. Well, great. Maybe you are a super entertaining babbler. There are babblers that are crazy entertaining that you cannot keep your eyes off of them, right? If that's truly your strength, then work it. Then know that, like, okay, if I'm a babbler, then what I'm going to do is, these reaction videos are doing really well on YouTube, right? And I'm just going to babble and give my reaction because I'm entertaining, I'm funny, or whatever. But maybe you're not. Maybe you're not funny. Maybe you're boring as hell, right? Well, I don't know if I can say that. Maybe you're not, but maybe you're really, really good at certain technical aspects. Well, that's what you should be focusing on, right? Okay. So next thing. So the next thing that someone says, naturally Zandra, sorry if I mispronounced your name. I want to show a bit more of my personality on YouTube. You're super silly. Like, a lot of people get intimidated by the camera. So usually it's like, the more you do it, the more practice you'll get and the more natural you'll get in front of the camera. What's really interesting is, like I said, I host the YouTube Power Hour podcast, which is my podcast. And I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. I guess I'm not. And I've interviewed people with millions of subscribers. And what's so interesting is that the second they get in front of the camera, they shine. Like, that inner beauty and that wacky personality shines. And actually in person, and when you talk to them, they're really reserved. So it's really, really interesting that way. Okay, let's see. So the next thing is, and this is something I want you to kind of take action on this. I'm going to drink some water. Is you, as important as it is to continue to cultivate and maintain your relationships with your friends and family, so that you get a life and your YouTube channel isn't just your whole life, right? It's also important at the same time to cultivate a little community of friends. Maybe it's a group of 2 or 3 people, and having those friends that are also YouTube creators. That is really, really important. And what I love about TubeBuddy is that they've created this community here. So if you don't have any friends, honestly, you don't have an excuse. Like, connect with some of the people on this live stream, connect with some of the people that comment, find people in your area. If you live in an area that's really kind of in the middle of nowhere, try and find people in your area that do YouTube and reach out to them, connect with them, talk to them on the phone, meet with them in person, go to events, meet people, and make that little group of diehard BFFs that you can text and call and basically commiserate with and share these types of experiences with, and be able to talk about these things. Because one of the things that I know that for people in my bootcamp that they love is that, and what they say they really get out of it, yes, they learn a lot and they grow their channels, but one thing they didn't anticipate was the lifelong friends. Like, I don't set up meetups for my bootcamp. They just happen naturally because people connect with each other there and they say, hey, you're at the boot camp, Erika's boot camp, you know, you live in San Francisco, let's meet up, or in New York, let's meet up. And then these friendships form and they're so important because you're able to really just talk about things that you can't talk about with your friends and family that aren't on YouTube. YouTube is its own beast. It's its own world. And we all know what it's about, but in your real life, if you're trying to talk about it with your spouse or your friend or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. Then you're like, ah, you feel lonely. So you feel less alone. So this will really combat those feelings of when you're feeling really down and you just don't feel good about yourself or your channel, and you can connect with your little YouTube tribe of people that are your friends. So I really encourage you to make an effort to do that. Get involved here in TubeBuddy in the Facebook group. Get involved in other Facebook groups. I have a Facebook group, the YouTube Power Hour Facebook group. A lot of people make friends in there. My boot camp, people make friends there. Check that out. Go to, events, conferences. There's definitely ways that you can do that and connect with people. Okay. The next thing is, the next thing I want you to think about is measuring your success, right? It's very easy to fall into the trap of measuring your success based on views and subscribers. We all do it. It's you do have to pay attention to it to an extent because it kind of gives you feedback on how you're doing, but you really want to measure your success on impact and not on numbers. So this goes back to your why. Why are you doing this? How do you want to impact people? How do you want to change people's lives? How do you want to make their lives better? What is the impact that you're making? And really measure your success based on that. Because if you're doing videos of value that are connecting with people, that people are resonating with, and they're leaving comments and telling you, I really felt different after watching this, or you made me think differently, or, watching your videos has really shined a new light on this. Connect with that and remember that. And what actually I have my students do, and what actually people that I know that have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, they do this, is that they will screenshot comments that really touch them, comments from their viewers and subscribers that show just how much that creator meant to them and changed their life and impacted them. They'll screenshot all those comments and then they'll put them all together in some kind of, I call it like a pump up board to get you pumped up, or a love board, right? And you have a place with all of this feedback telling you how much your channel has changed your lives or has helped them. And then blow it up like a vision board and prop it up somewhere and use it as a reminder of the impact that you have made and that you're only scratching the surface. And as long as you keep going, and as long as you make your why bigger than your fears and your insecurities, and you stay aligned with your purpose, that it's just the tip of the iceberg of the change that you can make in this world. Okay, so that's something that I recommend that people do. Next thing to think about, number 8, is having some control over your comments. So YouTube has a lot of really great tools which allow you to control your comments to an extent. So you can have the blocked words list, where you have words that you can that YouTube can you can screen and then moderate those comments so they don't automatically appear on your feed. You can choose to review all comments before they're posted. You can even have monitors that moderate your comments for you. So out of sight, out of mind. If there's anything bad or that's using your blocked words or whatever, then you don't have to see it. So definitely take charge of your own comments and utilize the tools within YouTube to do that. So, okay. Last but not least is, and thank you, Andrew. TubeBuddy has really, really good tools for comment moderation as well. And Andrew, I don't know if you have any videos pertaining to that, but maybe you can link them in the description for people if they're not aware of it. But yeah, TubeBuddy is amazing with all that. So, and number 9, last but not least, last thing is and this is related to trolls, is to shift your perspective in regards to who these trolls are, right? So this is how I think about it. Anybody that's willing to spend their time of their day to watch your YouTube channel, that's great. But Now spend time to like leave a really nasty comment, not a constructive criticism comment, like, because those are great. I know that with my clients, like I'll see some of the comments and people are like, oh yeah, hey Susie Q, like I love this video, but the sound was off, or you know what, like I don't know about this new setup. I don't really like it. Like those are great, you got to take those and look at them and say, okay, that's some good feedback. That's feedback to your channel. But I'm talking about the nasty comments, like the "oh, you suck," or your video, your channel sucks. Go fly a kite. I'm sure they're saying meaner things than that, but you know what I'm saying. And you think like, who does that, right? Who does that? And I just think of those people as cowards. They're just cowards. Like this thing I was talking about earlier. There's an anonymity with YouTube. They don't have to face you and tell you that you suck to your face. Most people don't do that, right? Because they don't have to face you. So they're cowards and they're typing away and they're keyboard warriors and they're like, woohoo, they feel good about themselves. They're just sad and happy people. So you have to shift your perspective on that and not give them power. Because if you allow them to make you feel bad about your channel, and that those negative thoughts are taking valuable real estate in your mind, in your psyche, in your spirit, which could better be used to serve your purpose, to serve your audience, then they have power over you. And who are they? They're cowards. Don't let those people have power over you. And the second that you let that negative comment follow you around day after day, and that happens. You can have 50 positive comments, but you have one or two nasty ones, and those nasty ones will follow you around, then you're giving them your power. And you don't want to waste your energy on this negativity, because you need to harness that energy and you need to preserve that energy so that you can make a difference in this world with your YouTube channel. And I go there, like I go deep there, because the people that are ultimately at millions of subscribers, they are changing the world in some small way. They're affecting people. And no matter if it's Jeffree Star talking about makeup, or if it's, PewDiePie on gaming, whatever it is, these people change lives because they're so influential and they're so powerful in that regards, right? And having influence is having a power, and comes great power, comes great responsibility, right? I mean, that's ultimately where you'll end up if you will really become successful on YouTube. And if you allow these naysayers, if you allow these negative Nancys to drag you down, you are giving them power, and you're allowing them to hinder you from fulfilling your purpose, from fulfilling your life's purpose, and from really making a positive impact in this world. I talk really fast if you haven't noticed. So that's it. Those are the 9 things that I really want you to think about. I'm going to review them for you, but those are the 9 things that I want you to really think about, or whenever you start feeling like sad about your channel, or wherever those negative thoughts start creeping in. And so the first thing is, and as you're watching this and you're watching the replay, just comment below if any of these resonate with you, if you've battled some of these before. And I love how active this chat group is. I mean, you guys are awesome. And it's TubeBuddy, commend you for just creating such an amazing community here as a place that people can come to and come for advice. It's awesome. Number 1 is your why. Connect with your why. Know what your why is, articulate your why, and know your why, and connect with it anytime you start feeling sad. Number 2, have you fostered a community? It's not just about growing a channel, it's about cultivating and fostering a community so that they serve as your little army whenever the naysayers come by, and that they'll be there for all your videos, and they will know, like, and trust you. Number 3 is your self-worth tied to your YouTube channel. Number 4, comparisonitis. How often are you comparing yourself to others? And you need to think, how is what they're doing have any effect on you? It doesn't. Number 5, what are your strengths, and lean in on them. Like Gary Vaynerchuk says, try to get to a place where you understand yourself and what your strengths are, then go all in on them. I see Kay Renee says, I don't let people steal my joy. Yes, 100%. Don't let people steal your joy. Don't let the trolls have that effect on you. Number 6 is make friends with other YouTube creators. Number 7 is don't measure your success on numbers, but on impact. Number 8, have control over your comments. Use the TubeBuddy tools to allow you to control your comments and moderate your comments and all that. And number 9, don't give trolls your power. All right. So leave a like, or like this video if you liked it. Leave a comment if you want to connect more with me and you want to hear me talk more about YouTube. Definitely check out the podcast, the YouTube Power Hour podcast. I've got nearly 200 episodes, so you can binge listen to them. You can sign up for, I have a free niche workbook where it can help you figure out your niche. It's Erika Vera. Do you know what? I'll have Andrew put the link below. And then also, if you're interested in my bootcamp, which I am enrolling next month on May 15th to be exact, I open up enrollment. And actually, I have limited spaces in my bootcamp because I'm in there doing coaching calls, multiple coaching calls. I bring in special guests. Andrew has been one of my special guests. He's amazing. So I do have a limited number of spots just because I want to keep the experience just as good as possible for my boot campers. So if you're interested, go to erikaviera.net/bootcamp. And I think that's it. That's all I have. And thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for Essential Oil Stories. You guys, I love essential oils too. So, I mean, I've got my oils right here. So thank you to you. Dee, thank you. I love your channel, Dee. Naturally, Zandra. Blind Bags and Bubbles. I love that. Pirate Sparrow. Thank you, all you guys. Leave a like, leave a comment. I love coming onto YouTube. Thank you for the support. And I think that's it. Bye.